Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh, it's another month. We are together again.
I know,
Welcome.
it's so nice.
It is. I feel like I've been so out of it because of this move. I feel like my whole body has just been kind of like it's an out of body experience for anybody thinking about selling real estate. Just don't do it. It's awful. So it's
Just
an awful
stay where you're
experience.
at,
Just
right?
don't do it. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I plan on doing. This is my forever home. I'm here. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
going
don't
anywhere.
move. Don't ever move. Yeah. And if you're going to, just open your door and just say, "Hey, everything's for sale," and just leave it. If it doesn't sell, just leave it and walk away. Don't even think about moving it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's
No.
a lot of work, but you
It's
know
been
what?
crazy.
You're in a wonderful place and your studio looks wonderful, and I'm so happy for you and excited for you, and so
Yeah.
it's great.
We are on the downward slide of this very large roller coaster. So we are on the downward end of it. And I think I see a light at the end of this tunnel. So
Good.
I think I can finally breathe. So, hi everyone. Just in case you don't know us, we're just chatting away like we don't talk to each other every day. I'm Betsy Crider. I am with BCreative Stamping, and I am in Central Pennsylvania.
And I'm Mary Ellen Stites, and I am Create with Me or Create with M.E. And I am in East Central Illinois, out in the country. And we are so happy to be here with you. And I know for Betsy, she's just been in this whole move thing. And so I've been like, come on, let's get creative. So it's time, right, Betsy?
Oh, it's so time. It's so time to get creative. It's been a struggle for me. I don't know about anybody else. Please, let me know if I'm not alone here, but I haven't stamped in so long because my stuff has been in storage for essentially like 2 months. My stuff has been in storage, so I haven't really stamped in 2 months. And now all of a sudden I'm like, I need to stamp. And then I'm like, I need motivation to actually stamp a little bit. So you poking me in the side saying, "Hey, let's go." And I'm like, that kind of works.
I,
It's like I needed that little bit of motivation. But then when I sat down like this month for this
yeah.
month's cards, when I sat down, that was exactly the motivation I needed to get going again. And now it's like I'm excited to stamp again, and I'm excited to play with new product. And so this was the kick in the butt I needed. So it's perfect.
Well, it's the season too, right? It's been hot. It's summer, at least here in Illinois or in the United States. If you're watching us outward, it could be winter, but here in the United States, it's summer and it's hot, and sometimes you're just caught up with so many activities. So stamping might go by the wayside. But we're happy that you're here and you're watching, whether you're watching here in July or you're watching us 6 months from now. We're just happy that you're here. So let me explain a little bit about why we're here. So this is called Stamp It Your Way, and this is a online class that Betsy and I have been doing now for, gosh, I don't know, a long time, years, a couple of years. I'll
March
just say
of
a couple of years.
2020. March of 2020, we started it. March of
Yeah,
2020.
yes, okay. I think it's been 3 or 4 years. And so, if you are a subscriber to our Stamp It Your Way, you would get some product and you would get the packets of cards that we're going to show you today. You'll get 2 of each of the 4 designs. But if you're not a subscriber, we're still happy that you're here. And we feel like you will learn something today and you will have fun and
You
hopefully
will learn and you
you will
will
learn.
have fun.
Oh, how about that? But I think that you can take away either one of the folds that we do. I mean, there's always picking up those little nuggets is so important. So we're happy to show you
Always.
the cards that we're doing this month, and Betsy's going to present that suite to you.
I am. I am. Yes, I think it is. I think it's like stamping and being together and just, I mean, it's about creativity and kind of sharing ideas. And we're excited to do that. All right. So let me push us down here to my desktop so you can see that. All
Great.
right. So yes. So this month, what we're showing this month is going to be the Charming Duck Pond. It's part of the, what is it? Lily something.
Lily Pond
What is,
Lane.
what? Lily Pond
Lily,
Lane is the name
Lily
of the
Pond
suite. That's
Lane.
right.
Yep.
Lily
Mhm.
Pond Lane is the name of the suite. But the name of the bundle is the Charming Duck Pond bundle. And I'll be honest, I swear I say this every month, but I'm going to say it
I
again.
know. I
This
know what you're
is
going to
one I
say.
looked at it and went, I don't know. It's like it's ducks. It doesn't really, they're weird looking ducks. I don't know. I just kind of looked at it and went, I'm
Oh,
not really sure. But
I
now I'm
know,
like,
but
oh my
yes,
gosh.
it's
So
so cute, right?
it is
I've so
super
many
cute.
people have told me this is like becoming one of their favorites. They're just falling in love with the paper. They're falling in love with the cute little ducks and the frogs, and so I hope that you guys do too today.
I know, right? It's like it did. It all of a sudden it was just like, oh, you know what? This is really super cute. I'm messing with my light. Sorry about that, folks.
No problem.
Give me a second. Just making sure I've got enough light here for you. Yeah, I looked at it and I was just like, I don't know. But now I'm like, this is really, once you start playing with it and start die cutting it, it's like, it's is really super cute. But you do,
Oh,
one of the things that also sold me was the paper on this.
yeah,
So if you
the
did
paper.
not, if you got this kit from
Definitely.
us, you would have gotten a full pack of this 6x6 designer paper. If you didn't get the kit from us, this is available. It's in the annual catalog, so you can get this. But it's just got the cutest little darn ducks in there. All of these nice little scenes. The koi, is that how you say that? Koi
Yeah,
fish?
koi fish. Yeah,
Koi fish. So you've got all of these. That little frog is adorable.
so cute.
This is a nice little scene. I love that because all you have to do is just kind of add a duck or two in there and you're good to go. There's a little ducky family. More duckies. What cattails, right? Is that what they were calling those
Right.
things?
Yes.
Cattails?
Yeah.
Yep. See, I have to have you around because I don't know what things are.
But
I
the
don't know
other
what they're
side is
called.
nice too. These patterns are
Yes.
beautiful. I've enjoyed the patterns, I think, almost as much as the scenery. I really
Yep.
have. And then you get to that last one, you're coming up to it, that gingham, and I'm just like goo goo over that. Although I didn't use it on my cards, I love it. I love all those.
All of them are
That
great,
one,
right? There's
you,
so many good
yeah,
patterns
so
here. Yeah, the
what
gingham on there,
color is that?
the pretty and pink color.
Yes, I love
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you for the two cards that I'm using this paper here, this smoky slate paper. The card I'm doing next is this one. And then I'm also using this speckled one. So those are the designer papers that I'm going to be using on my two cards.
I think
Um,
I always think it's fun that we design our cards at the same time, and I don't know how it works out, but we use different paper, and it's cute. It's really it's really
we do.
interesting. It seems like that happens a lot, doesn't it?
Well, I think you and I think we complement each other in the fact that your style is different than my style. I tend to be much more of a muted neutrals, and you tend to be
Yeah.
just crazy and bright. So I think it works out well.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's exactly right.
That's exactly right. For the first card that I'm doing, by the way, this sheet also you want to have because this sheet has the little ducks that we're going to use on the front of this card that we're making. Now, the nice thing about this is that you can use the dies to die cut the little guys right out of the paper, right? So the nice thing about this now is that a lot of our dies match the designer paper so that you're not having to fussy cut if you don't want to. But if you do want a different duck, so there's this one that works, and there's that one right there you can see. So they cut out those different ones. If you want a different duck, they're like the one with the little family, you could go ahead and you could fussy cut that out, which I will show you that I did because I do like to fussy cut. So I'll show you what that looks like. But
Yeah,
we're going to
we actually
start.
did that this week for club. We fussy cut those, and everyone said they were super easy to do.
They're
So they
super
didn't.
easy, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
here, so speaking of your gingham, when I was working and playing with this
Oh,
card,
yeah.
you can kind of see how you can kind of mix and match this and really kind of make it your own. So this is the card we're actually going to be doing, but you can see on this card how it's the same. It's just a little different as far as the designer paper. So if you like that, really like that gingham, you could do that instead. But I like the little duck family.
I
Look how
do. I do like that
cute.
one. Yeah, I
So
do.
I went ahead and I did fussy cut those, but this one I went ahead and I just did it right out of the paper. So let me show you. This was also another sample I was playing with just to give you an idea because I really like those flowers and it matches this folder we have. I feel like I have a shadow. I'm so sorry. Let me see if I can get rid of that shadow. There you
I
go. Do you
really
see
like
that
that
folder?
card. I love that you're showing all these alternate samples so people can take some screenshots and grab them and,
Exactly,
because
right?
you've
I
given them
thought
lots of paper to work with. So,
there is, and it's so much paper. Yeah. So it's like even if you don't like, even if you didn't have the duck, you didn't even have to have these duck images. If you had the paper in an embossing folder, and that embossing folder just matches so well with that
mhm.
paper, I thought, well, that's really pretty. And so yeah, so this was like some things I was playing with, but this is the one I ultimately went with. So what you're gonna have in your packet is you're going to have some pretty and pink cardstock, and then you have a piece of pretty and pink that you can emboss. Now I use the Timber 3D folder. You can use any folder that you have at home if you didn't want to use that one, or if you didn't have that one. There is a piece of white, and then that is going to be the layer right for that 3x4. So the best way to get the most out of your designer paper is to cut it to 3x4. 3x4 will allow
Mhm.
you to use just about every inch of it, right? But I
Yeah,
guess
for
in a
sure.
6x12, I'm thinking more 12x12, not necessarily six by
Well,
six.
well, it's even good on the 6x6 cutting it 3 anyway, whatever
Yes,
length you do it is, but the 3 inches gets you 2 pieces out of 1. So I always try to go that way too.
exactly. So there's the designer paper. You've got an envelope, of course, and you've got some white for your inside. Now we did give you, I had you cut this, Mary Ellen, at 5.5 by 8.5 because I thought, oh, we'll just give them a half a sheet and they can do their cutting of their paper. But I was thinking that they needed to cut the circles, and actually we pre-cut the circles for them. So we
Oh,
probably gave you a
yeah.
ton of paper that you'll just have extra white
You're
in this
welcome.
case. Yes, exactly. I went to cut that and went, wow, they only have to cut these two pieces. I was thinking they had to cut all of that. So never mind. We went
That's
ahead
okay.
and did some die cutting with the stitch shapes. You have a piece of pretty peacock in there, and that's just to cut your little lily pads. And then you have your ducks that you can either cut out with a die, or this little guy I fussy cut. So you can kind of see, I still feel like I'm in shadow. Sorry. Still trying to figure out my lighting here, folks. Give me a second. New setup, trying to figure out the new what's gonna work best. Oh, gosh darn it. I've got everything going out of whack now.
Yeah, you actually look really good now, like, other
Do I
than
look,
your there. Yeah, looks good. I don't see
look
a
good?
shadow. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. She's like, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't
Don't
touch it.
touch it. Yeah.
Don't touch it. Okay, so pretty peacock, just to cut your lily pads with, so you've got some extra paper there in your packet. Okay, so this one comes together pretty quickly. We're going to use some liquid glue here, or adhesive. I'm going to put together my designer paper. My glass mat has a has unevenness to it. Can you tell
Oh,
this is the first time I've stamped in like forever, and I'm still trying to figure it out? Because I'm sitting here and it's like, well, that's annoying me. I'm
oh,
gonna have
I
to.
have mine. I have mine actually on like a little foam mat. The normal mat I use is like foamy, and
Oh,
so
maybe I need to do that
maybe
because
that
mine's
was to
got a.
carry
It
you
might
with
be
you.
just my table. I think it's just my
Yeah, it might be.
table,
Yeah,
but it's got like a little bit of unevenness to it. So I apologize if I'm scooching around a little bit.
that's okay.
All right, so I'm gonna add my timber embossed paper. I think I could do that. I've got some of that shelf liner stuff. Maybe I'll put that underneath. By the way, for anybody that has not gotten the glass mat, do they know that it's available? That anybody can get
Oh,
it now?
yeah, I've been like shouting it from the rooftops for sure.
It is so nice. Now, when you put this together, you can kind of see that mine's like down in the bottom lower corner. You could center it if you wanted to. If you want it in the center of the cardstock, you can do that. I just kind of liked mine offset a little bit. So I'm going down into that more of the bottom corner, just giving it a equal edge on either side. Okay, this guy's actually going to go on, but this one that I'm going to stamp is going to kind of tuck underneath it. So I want to do this piece first and stamp this piece. So I am using the Pretty Peacock ink, and I'm using Have a Lovely Day. And I'm going to stamp that up towards the top left corner of that. Like that. So that now when I go to put this together, I can kind of see where that's going to fall. Because this guy's going to be punched up, but this one's going to be dimensioned, but this one's going to be flat. So I'm going to put this guy down first. So he's going to go underneath right about there. And then I'm going to add dimensionals to the back of the pebbled path. Come here. Pebble path piece, and that's just going to go off the side like that, right? Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to do my little cattails, and I can have my cattails going here, and I'm just going to glue those down. And then I have the lily pads kind of like this, right? So I'm going to do the cattails first, and I'm just using a little bit of liquid glue. You don't need a lot on this. The cattails themselves will kind of stay down just with like a little bit of glue on the bottoms of those. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe a little bit here or there. But you don't need a lot of glue on these. So I'm going to go with one kind of there. And then have that one kind of overlapping. You can decide how wide you want to put them. I think these are a little bit wider than those, but that's okay. And then the lily pads are going to go on top of that. So I can glue those down. And then I'm going to go with this little duck guy here. I'm going to have him kind of looking back over his shoulder instead of this one, because that's one I already used. So I'm going to have him on there. And since he's only hitting part of that circle, I only really need adhesive where he's going to hit, right? So I'm going to add that like near his chest and then up behind his head, because the rest of him really isn't going to be landing. It's going to be sitting up because of the pebble path being already dimensioned up, right? But then he looks like he's walking in the air. So I want to add that other lily pad kind of underneath him. Do you see that?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Right? So that he doesn't look like he's just kind of walking out there in nowhere land. So I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue underneath that and then kind of tuck that so that it looks like he's walking on the lily pads across. There you go. How easy was that card?
Yeah, that was nice. And it's so cute.
And it's quick. All right, so for the inside and my envelope, I thought, well, what am I going to do in there? And I thought, sometimes, you know what? It's nice just to stay with one ink shade, not overthink it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little lily pad. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp off. I know I brought a piece of scrap paper around here somewhere. I'm going to stamp off first. And then I'm going to stamp that little lily pad. So I've got this two-tone look, right? A little bit lighter color. There we go. And I brought in the little outline duck. And I just have him kind of walking over top of that lily pad. You see it?
Cute.
There you go. And then this guy goes in the inside. And then we add some dots and we're good to go. So these are called dapple dots. I want to call them like, they look like, what do they call that when they, like a crackle? To me, it's like almost like a crackle look.
I was waiting to hear what you said. It looks like the crackling stuff on top of the macarons when you're watching the baking show.
Ah, that's, yes.
They call that. I can't, it's like crackling.
Crackling? What do they call that? I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's not it, but we will come up with it.
And you know what it'll be? It'll be like 2 o'clock in the morning. You'll sit straight up in bed
Yeah.
and go, that's what that's called.
I'll just ask my kids. They'll know.
Well, you have me watching those baking shows, so you'd think I would know the answer to this too.
Yeah.
I'm doing tone on tone. I'm kind of doing the pink on the pink, and then I added one like over here on the Pebble Path one. So you could change it up though. You could go with more of the Pebble Path color on there, or even the orange, depending on what you wanted to pick up. So like the I shouldn't call it orange. I should call it peach pie. If you wanted to pick up the peach pie out of his little tail feathers, right, out of his little feathers, you could do that by choosing the peach pie embellishments to go with it, right?
Yeah.
And have that mix and match. So there is card number 1. Zoom, done, right?
Cute.
Cute, cute, cute. All right, so let's move on to card number 2. Card number 2 is, helps if I bring it in, is this one. Isn't that pretty? It's
Yes,
so
it's so
cute.
pretty.
It's so cute. Now, you're going to see this little like splotches of ink right here on there. They're actually not supposed to be there. I'll tell you how they got there by mistake, but they're not supposed to be there. But it actually kind of works out to be like a happy accident. I don't hate it, but it's not supposed to be there. But let me show you what you got in this packet, all right? So you've got your piece of peach pie cardstock, and then you've got the designer series paper that you want to use is going to be this polka dot one, and then this smoky slate one. We're going to cut a banner on that one. We have got our envelope, of course. Let me see. Yeah, I grabbed the wrong pile. Hold on. I grabbed my extras instead of my right ones. There we go. I am so totally organized and amazing at this that I amaze myself. You have a piece for your inside. There's a piece that we pre-die cut from the deckled circles. You have some scrap paper in here, and what you need this for is mostly your die cutting. So what you're going to have is you're going to have some peach pie, some old olive, some smoky slate, and you're going to have some pretty peacock. So this is really to be able to do your lily pads. This is to be able to do your cattails. And I'm going to show you a quick trick with the cattails, because there actually is a die that will cut out the cattails in whole, like we just did with this one, right? So we did this one and it has the tops. And I thought, wait a second, do I need to cut those again to get brown? So do I have to cut them in green and then cut them again in brown? And I figured out I didn't need to do that. There's a much easier way to do that, and I'll show you that. So I did cut those out of the old olive cardstock. I have my little duckies, and I've got you're kind of doing it out of both of these colors, the smoky slate and the peach pie, because you're going to need it's kind of funny how it looks when you look at it when you're putting it together. You've got your body of your duck, okay? But then you have the separate die that is for the wing and the little beak, okay? So this die is for the wing and the beak, right? So body, wing, and beak. So body here, wing and beak here, okay? And then for this little guy, it's kind of weird because he's got 2 bodies in here, but one of them doesn't have a face. It's kind of weird looking. He doesn't have like a nose. He doesn't have a bill, I guess you want to say. He doesn't have a bill coming off. So this one, you're going to cut the body from, you're going to cut it twice. You'll cut it from the smoky, and then you'll cut this guy, or I'm sorry, you'll cut this one without the face from the smoky, and then you'll cut the full body from this one, and then they layer together. So there's the full body, and there's the half body layered on top. Does that make sense? Did I ramble that or mess that up?
No, that's good. I get it.
Does that make sense? Complete sense?
Yeah, I think we have it. Yeah.
Okay. So that when you cut one will overlay on top. This one doesn't need to overlay, but this one, it's one duck overlays over the other duck so that you get the 2-tone. Okay. So that's those dies. that you're going to put together so that you can put together all these little pieces here. All right. Now I'm going to take this all away so you see how to do that. I also want to cut out the little flowers for the lily pads. Do they have a special name?
Probably, but
Probably.
I don't know
We're just
what right
going to
now.
call it a flower. You're good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. A little flower. You're going to cut the flower
Water
and you're going to
lilies.
have all these pieces.
They're water lilies, right?
Water lilies. There you go. All right. You're also going to want to make sure that you have the in color, Stampin' Write in color markers. Specifically, the peach pie is the one we're looking for. And then you also want to have your basic black Stampin' Write marker. And then you want to have, there's the bronze and what's the color that comes? Ivory, bronze and ivory blends. You just need the bronze. And the bronze is what I used to color these. So whenever I had them just green, I just brought in my marker for my bronze and just colored in the tops of the cattails. So you don't have to cut it like I was trying to do, making it harder than it needed to be by cutting two different cattails and trying to paste together a brown and a green. You just color it with your blends and then you've got the color right there, right?
Simple.
Simple, right?
Yeah.
Still feel like I'm in shadow. There you go. The same way with these little guys, what I did was I took my peach pie Stampin' Write marker and I just wanted to add a little bit of shading. So right around like his little wing, I added some of the peach color. I did it here on Mama. I did it right around on the little tail just to add a little bit of depth, give her a little bit of darker shading on that wing. The black comes in for the eyes because when you put this together, it's gray on gray or it's gray on pink, and they look a little zombie-ish if you don't give them a black eye. So just take your black marker and color in that little spot where the eye is, and it's perfect. It just kind of lines it right up. Okay.
But honestly, Betsy, right, if they don't have the black marker, because the black marker is a separate thing, they could use a dark green, a dark blue, a dark smoky slate, a basic
brown.
gray,
Yes,
brown,
yes. Anything you had just to color in that little eye, I think is fine. And with the water lilies, I did the same thing just to kind of give them a little bit of a two-tone look. I took my marker and I just kind of colored in the center of those little water lilies just to give them a little bit of a two-tone colored look so that they had a little bit more. So you can kind of see how this is all colored here. There you go. So you can kind of see how I've colored all those.
Yeah, looks
There's
good.
no right way or wrong way. It's just a matter of giving them some shading. And speaking of shading, what I want to do is I want them to be kind of floating along in their little pond. So I'm going to take my deckled circle and I am going to use a Post-it note to mark off half of my circle. So just to kind of keep my lines straight. That's the nice thing again about this little table here, or this glass mat, is I've got all these grid lines on it. So I can line this up and make sure I'm getting it straight. There we go. So that I'm marking off half of it, just so that I can have my water line of where my ducks are going to go. And I'm just bringing in a small blending brush, a little bit of the Pretty Peacock, and just kind of picking it up. Now, if you were really doing a lot of these, like if you were doing multiples, I would just smear this right on my glass and then just keep going. I'm only doing the one, so I'm just going to put it off on my scrap paper so I don't get a lot of ink. And I'm going to just kind of brush some color on the bottom half of this circle. Now, you might look at this and think it doesn't have a lot of color on it, but you'd be surprised how much ink will transfer without you realizing it. You see that? That I have color on there already without you realizing it. So this one is a little bit darker just so you can kind of see it on the camera. So I'm going to use this one today. Got it?
Yeah.
And while I have the sponge, just because I like all my stuff to kind of match, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of shading to my inside piece. And I'm going to do the same with my envelope, which I don't seem to have here. So I'll just show you here what I did on the envelope. You can see how I added that shading at the bottom so that when I go to stamp, it kind of all goes together, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that is that one. Let me get rid of this. And let's go ahead and start to put this together. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create my banner for the front. And I'm using scissors to create this. And I wanted to make sure that they were relatively even. So I took my designer paper and kind of pinched it together. I didn't fold it, like I didn't put a crease in it, but I just kind of pinched it together so that I knew these two pieces were exactly even. And then what I did was I cut up through the center while I was holding them together, like that. Then still holding it, I'm bringing from one corner in to that little notch, and then I'm going to flip it, still holding them together, and cut into that notch again. That way, then I know that those two ends are going to be identical because I held them together while I did it. Okay. That's where you're supposed to ooh and ah, Mary Ellen. Ooh,
Well,
ah.
I know, I oohed and awed in my head, and I'm just thinking, well, in reality, I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, oh, shoot, you could have just folded those in half because your circle covers the middle. So
I could have folded it. That's true.
even if someone gets a crease in it, have no fear.
That is very
You're not going to
true.
see
That
it.
is very
So
true. Yes, it
that's
does
where
cover it.
I was processing it all. It was a process, the creative process. So I was oohing and eyeing in my head and thinking, oh my gosh, that's so cute.
You're fine. No worries. We both have had a really rough day, so I'm just picking on her to pick on her at this point.
That's
So it's
okay.
all good.
That's okay. The day
It's all
is
good.
almost over.
All right, I'm going to start to build this up here. So what I want to do is I'm going to put my lily. Let's see, I'm going to kind of space this out a little bit because I want Mama in the middle, right? So I want to make sure I have enough room for her first. So let's put her on first. So I'm going to put her on with some dimensionals. So she's going to go about right there. So then I can come through with my cattails. I'm going to add a cattail back here towards the back. And then the other cattail here towards the front. Oops. Helps if it doesn't glue to your finger. There we go. Sort of like that. Okay. Then what I want to do is I think I'm going to, with the little baby, I want the little baby to kind of be offset from Mama down here. So she needs a little mini dimensional, if I can find them in my stash of dimensionals. Do I have minis in here? Of course not. I always have minis, but the minute I go to reach for a mini, I can't find them. There they are. So I'm going to take a mini dimensional, and I'm just putting a mini dimensional in the body because what's going to happen is that I'm just going to kind of slide her head up there, and the mini dimensional is going to kind of hold her in place. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to put my lily pads on, kind of like that. There's no right way or wrong way to do this. Don't be me. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. And then, so the little notch in the lily pad. So your flowers. Why is there a notch in that lily pad? Do you know?
I think that's just the way that I think that so what it is in the middle of that notch is where the stem is. then the stem
Okay.
goes straight down. So that's just like any, if you know what, like a monstera leaf or something, it has that kind of, the stem comes up and then there's a little lobes that go around the bottom, and that's exactly what that is.
See, I knew you'd know the answer. I knew it. I'm using mini dimensionals to put the little flowers on. Like that. Right? So there's my little piece that's going to go on the front. And then I popped this whole thing up. So I like my dimensionals. So a little dimension here, a little dimension there. Pop this whole thing up so that this is going to go on my front. Coming up a little bit above center on this. Make sure my little duckies are going flat and in the right direction. Okay. Now what I want to do is my greetings. So I am using the happy birthday. And again, I'm using the Pretty Peacock ink. I'm going to stamp happy birthday. And then this one is going to get layered onto the other peach pie piece, which as I was cutting this, I was like, why would I cut anything at like 5/8 or 3/8? I must be out of my mind.
I wasn't going to say anything. There was a couple of things I'm like, well, she's always picking on me about that. And then
I
there she
know,
is
but
doing
look
it
how
too.
cute it looks with the little. So if it were
Well,
me, this is what I would do.
exactly.
It does. It looks so cute with that little border around it. But if it were me, what I would do is I would do happy birthday, and then I would hand cut it out. And then I would layer it on a piece of peach pie, and then I would hand cut the peach pie down versus putting it on actually having to cut an eighth. So
Well, then they're really lucky that we pre-cut those for them.
they are, because trust me, if I were hand doing it myself, I'd just be hand cutting that guy. I would just be hand cut and it'd be done. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put happy birthday down here. You can put any greeting on there you want to. Now, I wanted to put a little bit of twine on there, and you could do the white. The white looks perfectly fine. But I, being me, I wanted to make mine colored. So I brought in my peach pie ink pad, and I wanted to color my twine, and you can do this with any twine. You can color it to whatever color you want it to be. So using like a spoon, the back of a spoon. Let me grab one here. Actually, I have a spoon here. Using a spoon or a bone folder, what you want to do is I just hold the thread to the ink pad and I just kind of pull it. Right? And I just kind of keep doing that as it adds more color to my twine, right?
Just
So you can
don't
kind
lay
of
it.
see it
Just
already.
don't lay it on anything you don't want to color, though, right?
Correct. So that's, yeah. So remember me telling you that I had ink in places where I didn't want to have ink? Well, now you know why, because this takes longer to dry than I thought it was going to. This takes longer to dry than I thought. So what you're going to want to do is once you've colored it, so that was white and now it's peach, you could do it where you like kind of drag it through something to kind of have it pull the excess ink off, but you can see how that is very wet. And it does take longer to dry. So once you do it, I would say put that aside for at least like a night before you end up using it, because that's how I got the ink here. Because when I put my cards together, I did them and I put them together, and the cards I sent Mary Ellen had ink on them. These little guys got ink on them in the corners, though I don't hate this. It kind of looks cute with like the little rusty two-tone look. But just be aware that if you do this technique, it takes a while for that to dry. So don't use it right away. Okay.
Honestly, the card is really pretty. I love the bow, don't get me wrong, but the card is
Yeah,
really pretty the way it is too.
without
So
it, right? Do you
and
need
you know
it?
what?
No.
You know what? You know what the thing is too? Like I look at those two cards and I think, okay, the one on the left without the bow, a little more masculine,
Maybe.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Could be for a
Yeah.
guy. The one on
Yep.
the right, happy birthday, could be for a girl. When you add a bow, it's just like being a florist. You know, when you add a bow, it's a corsage. You never add a bow to a man's boutonniere. So, yeah.
I made cards this month in club, and I didn't have ribbon on a single card, and people thought I was ill. They
Well,
thought, what is wrong with her? What's wrong with her? She did cards and they don't have ribbon on them. Something's wrong with her.
yeah. Well, I was just looking at my cards that I'm getting ready to show, and I'm thinking, do I need dimensionals? And I'm like, wait, why don't I need dimensionals? I do not have dimensional on anything. I'm looking at this thinking,
I'm like double dimensionals. All right,
isn't
then
that
I'm going to
crazy?
go ahead and add my little speckled, dapple, whatever you want to call them, dots on here. And I'm going to get those little guys.
And I looked it up online. It's crackling, and it's not on a it's not on a macaron. That's why I couldn't find it. It's on a pat a choux, which is a puff, a cream puff. So
There
it's
you go.
crackling on a cream puff. That's what it looks like.
See, and
on a
I should
cream
know that because you have me watching those cooking shows, and I learn and I learn and I learn how to do all this cooking stuff now.
And of course, it's French, so it's spelled with a Q-U-E. You know, not the crackling like we have down in the South. This is crackling with a Q-U-E. So, yeah.
Right.
There's your little baking French lesson of the day.
Whether you wanted it or not.
Yes, exactly.
All right, I'm going to put my cattails on the inside. And when you're putting the cattails in, you're going to see that it has like those little gaps in there. And that's meant just for you to put the little tops on. And I'm using pecan pie. And I just kind of line this up. Kind of line one up. And then the other two kind of fall into place. There you go.
That looks nice.
And then that is my inside. So that one goes in the inside of this one. And that card is now also complete. So there are my two cards using the Charming Duck Pond. Isn't that cute?
Awesome. Yes, awesome.
Yeah. So there are my two cards. Yay!
So now it's my turn, and I'm going to show you a couple cards. And this is the card that I'm going to show you first. We're going to do a little modified version of this one, just because we're going to use a little different designer series paper, but super cute. So what you're going to get in your packet, if you signed up for Stamp It Your Way, I'm going to take this place off so I'm not my microphone, sorry. So I'm not clicking. You've got an envelope, and then you've got some pieces that you're going to use for die cutting. So you've got some granny apple green for your cattails. You've got a little bit of pretty in pink for your water lilies, and a little bit of peach pie, again, for the little flower on top of the water lily, and then a little bit of pretty peacock, and that is for our lily pads. Then we pre-die cut one of the nested essential dies, and then you'll need a piece for the inside, and then your card base is pretty peacock. So I'm going to set the envelope, the inside aside, and I have pre-die cut, and maybe I'll just bring those pieces out now so that you can see what. So you're going to need 3 pieces cut from Granny Apple Green, and you're going to need the cattails, and then we're going to do the pretty in peacock here, pretty in peacock.
I kept saying it today myself. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you did that because I kept doing it today. I'm like, pretty peacock.
Yeah, I know. Pretty peacock, and then the pretty in pink, a couple of the little flowers. So those are the pieces you're going to die cut. And what's nice is you can die cut this, and this. If you're using a mini, you can die cut them all at one time. If you're using a regular stamp cut and emboss machine, you can die cut everything one fell swoop, and then you just go back and die cut one more of these. But you can do that all in one. So it's not like going and die cutting. You can do it in one run pass through. So there's those pieces there. So we're going to go ahead and fold our card base in half. And then I'm going to show you what my alternative little option is there. Do I have an echo, Betsy?
No, I don't hear an echo.
Okay. I didn't know. I thought I heard an echo. So the pieces you're going to need out of designer series paper, I've got right here. And so I've got one full sheet. You can see on my sample, I use the one with the little duck and the little two babies, and there's some cattails up here. We use this paper in club this week, so I was had a very minimal amount left. So I'm going to use this one where the mommy's teaching the little duckling to swim. And so I'm going to show you how I kind of look at the paper and cut it to fit my card front. Okay, then you're going to need a strip of designer series paper for the front, and then one for the inside, just a 1/4 inch, and this one's 5/8 to an inch anywhere. So let me bring in my cutter, and
I
so
do
you
hear
can
a,
see that.
I
Yeah,
do
I
hear a
can hear it.
little echo, but it's
Yeah,
not like an outrageous echo. So there is one like kind of coming back a little bit.
I can hear it too. It sounds like I'm in your room with you. So
Oh,
I'm
well,
going
you
to kind
should
of
be. You should be.
I'm going to determine that I want to be just above Mama's head for the top. I'm going to lay this whole card out a little different. So I'm going to, I know that I need my piece of designer series paper to be 4 inches. So I'm going to cut the top here, and then I am going to cut this at 4 inches. Okay. And then I need my piece to be 5 1/4. So I think I'm going to take a little, I want to kind of keep it, I want to kind of keep these ducks central, because if you look at my design, I've got cattails here and cattails here, and I want to keep those ducks fairly central. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit off of this side, and then I'm going to make sure I didn't just cut that. Was I supposed to be at 5 1/4? Well, I might have just done it
I'm so
without
good, I
even.
didn't even know it.
Yeah, probably would have rather had a little bit less off of here and then a little here, but it's gonna look beautiful.
It looks
All right,
good.
so we'll just go ahead and put our designer series paper on the front. We don't have to worry about, we're not tying any ribbon or anything like that. So we can just lay it right on there. We can lay on our little strip, or a little, I'll say, accent strip. I'm going to keep it low now, right? So on my sample, I'll keep it right up here so you can see pretty much in the middle. I'm going to do this one a little different. I'm going to keep it on the low side, just like that. Okay, and that's about all we can do for this part. So let's do a little bit of stamping and sponging, or using our blending brush. So I'm using Balmy Blue and a little bit of ink. And unlike Betsy, I don't have any scrap paper. So I'm just going to use my glass mat to get that, first chunk off. And then I'm going to put a little color just on either end of this.
That's great. That's one of the best things about this glass mat, is that it allows you to do that. It's so easy.
Yeah, I love it. I'm going through a lot less grid paper. Now, I do know that my chamois cloth that comes with the glass mat is dry. I didn't wet it, so I'm just going to use my regular stamp cleaning chamois. And so I've got my nested essentials. I got a little bit of ink on both sides, and now I'm going to stamp my greeting that says "Hello, friend" in Pretty Peacock. You just
Hello,
want to make sure
friend.
you're wiping. What?
Hello, friend.
Yeah, hello, friend. You just want to make sure you're cleaning off that ink off your glass mat, so you're not picking it up with your hand or something like that, and then, of course, getting it all over your project. So
Which
we
is
can
where
go
I would have
ahead.
been.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've all been there, right? All right. I've got put this down, and I'm going to put this down. I'm probably going to cover up one little baby duck, just a little. I'm going to go a little on the high side. I'm kind of right on this edge here. All right. And now all I have to do is put my pieces down. So I've got the cattails, and like you, Betsy, I actually am using Granny Apple Green, and I just took a dark mossy meadow marker. I'm sorry about that echo. I can hear it, and I'm not, it's funny because I don't hear it like it's on my side. I almost hear like it's at your house. So
I disconnected my phone, so I don't even think my phone's even on anymore. I don't know where it's coming from.
yeah, I don't know either. Okay, so I'm just going to do that. And then again, I know I'm going to just take my chamois and try to get that off. I know that's blend, so it's alcohol based, but it's still kind of cleaned it up a little bit. All right, so now we're going to have 2 on the one side, and I'm also going to bring in my liquid adhesive. And I totally agree with you. What you were saying is like just use a little bit of glue because, and I'm going to work with my design. So I've got this design, so I'm going to make mine go off a little bit. My other one here straight up and down. And I like my cattails to have some dimension to it. So I'm just going to do a little bit of glue. I want those little leaves to kind of pop up. So I'm just going to do it like this, overlapping again, trying not to cover my little ducks. And I'm going to bring in my lily pads. And I agree with you. I think it can go either way. I'm going to do the opposite of what I did there just to prove it. And I'm going to bring
I
this
agree with you.
in.
When you don't glue the whole lily pad down, it looks like it just has natural lift to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, the little cattails, right?
Yeah, the
And
cattails. Sorry. Yeah, the cattails. They just naturally lift up. You don't need to
yeah, I
have
like.
glue on all of it.
So I've got this one up. I'm gonna go a little bit low on this one, even though I'm going off. I think that's perfectly fine, and I'm gonna cover it up with my two lily pads that are just singles by stacking them one on top of the other one, just like so, to cover up the base. And those, whoops, didn't get much glue on that. If I left it, it'd have been fine, but my fingers are sticky, so I wanted to come up with it. Okay. So there's that. And then we're just going to build our flowers. It's super quick and easy, like you said. So you had your flowers going up. I'm going to actually have mine going down because I'm adding that second element, and that's this little peach piece. I think it's good both ways. But I'm going to just fancy mine up a little bit.
There you go.
I'm going to put them right on my flowers because you can see here it's got it going up, but I'm doing it. I'm being creative.
Absolutely. We make it our own. That's stamp it your way.
That's exactly right. Okay,
Stamp
then
it
I'm going
your
to add that.
way.
Now, if I was really smart, I'd be using my take your pick tool, and that would hold it down really, really well. So you can see the difference. Where this one's in the center, I've got if you're using this designer series paper, but I kind of like this one too. It's all kind of down. If this bothers you, or if you find that you're pulling it up, it's easy to put a little bit of glue under there and tack it down. So the only thing that we have left to do on that, and I will get my take your pick tool out for this, is to add some of the dapple dots around our greeting. And I'm
It's
just
because
going to add.
the designer series paper made your life so much easier there to have
Oh,
this beautiful scene that you're just adding to.
yeah, it's gorgeous. I got a little bit of excess take your pick putty on there. That's what I get for not normally. Okay, here's a little lesson. Normally, I would, before I use my take your pick tool, I would be cleaning off the tip, but I decided, no, I'm just I'm just going to go with it, and you see where that got me. So, all right, so let's do a little something on the inside, and I brought that. I had that little strip. Got this cute little teeny tiny strip. So because of that, I'm going to use a little bit of liquid adhesive. Okay, so what I was saying, I'll just go. So having the little strip, you don't even really have to cut it. You're going to just wait, and you'll have little strips as you've cut your paper down. Use those little strips. Don't throw them away. So now I'm going to get some funny little stamps out here. I've got them. I've got 3 little stamps. So I've got the outline duck. I've got this. I don't know if can you see that? It looks like the
Yeah.
Loch Ness monster.
Yeah,
That's what I've decided. And then look at this. This is a crazy little stamp. It's got teeny tiny little. Just watch this. I'm going to bring in a little bit. Yeah,
all
it's
kinds
just
of little
very.
pieces.
I'm going to bring in a little bit of gray granite, and I'm going to stamp my little duck. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in the Loch Ness Monster. And I'm going to stamp the little Loch Ness Monster. I'm going to get my head in the way probably. Oh, I got him a
No,
little
you're
off.
good.
He's a little off. He's a little off because I got I wiggled right at the last second. Then I'm going to take in these little baby dots. And this is actually the feet. You can see it a little bit better now. The feet and the beak. And hold on, I'm going to be more careful this time. It's doable. There.
And it just lines right up.
Yeah,
Can
it
you hold
lines
him a
right up.
little? Can you hold him up a
Yeah.
little bit?
Yeah, he's a little off, but
Oh,
if
look
you
how
see,
cute
he's
he
just
is,
walking on
though.
a little paper. And so then that's our inside. And you can just do the same thing on your envelope.
Cute.
So I'm going to add him right in here. And that's card number 1. It's really quick and easy. I mean, the die cutting is, you have to do a little die cutting. But here, oh, I forgot. Hello, friend. Have a lovely day. And I have that right here. Stamp, have a lovely day.
Have a lovely day, my friend.
Cute, cute.
Cute, cute. Very cute.
So that is card number 1. Hello, friend. And there's the 2 different versions. So you can kind of take a screenshot if you're not doing Stamp It Your Way and you want to see those designs. There they are. And it's just utilizing the designer series paper, the design that you really, really prefer. Okay. So
that's the great thing about it. Yeah, you can kind of just pick and choose which scene works best for you.
Exactly. So now we're going to do card number 2, and I'm going to show you what you get in here, and then I'll show you the card. So you've got your envelope. You've got a piece for the inside that is I don't know what it is, 4 by 5 1/4. I'm pretty sure. This is just a little scrap. You're going to be stamping a little frog, a little piece of balmy blue for your greeting, and then you've got 2 pieces of cardstock. One is hamburger fold and one is a hot dog fold. So actually this is a little bit on the lean side. This is 11 by 4, I believe. And then this one's your regular card base. So let's start by folding our card base.
Yeah, when I was cutting up the packets for this, I'm like, wait a second, why are they getting 2 card bases?
Yeah, why is there? Yeah. So this one's kind of a fancy fold and it's kind of fun and it's easy. This card is it's very easy. So I'm going to show it to you in a second, but I want to get this done here. So let me show you the card. And I was focusing on the frog and the lily pads this time instead of the ducks. And it just says, you make me so happy. You make me happy, not so happy. And then it opens up and it reveals the little frog. And then it opens up.
Look at that.
And then it's got this little frog. Isn't that cute? So
it's cute.
Easy, but it's just, one other way to show a little fancy fold. So I'm going to take the piece that I have here, and these are the pieces of designer series paper. I'm going to bring them in. You're going to need your little frog on your lily pad, and I'm going to show you the difference, how I cut my paper. This one here, he's hidden. He's a little secret. I wanted to see if I could move him up into the window. And so that's what we're going to do today. And
have
so
it be in a little peekaboo.
Yeah, a little peekaboo. I thought, well, let's see if we can get him to peekaboo out that window a little bit, depending on how I do the designer series paper. And you have to remember when you're putting it on, it's going to open from the opposite side. So, our normal thing is to do this. Let's not do that. We're going to have our fold on the right and our open end on the left because it's going to open the opposite way. But if you get it wrong, and you put it in like that, there's no reason why it can't open like that and then open like this. I just have mine opening this way. Okay. Does that make sense? All right.
Yeah.
So this can be adhered on the inside. No, it can't be. I'm going to set that aside. I forgot I got to do a little die cutting on here. And if I have that adhered, it's going to be a lot. I took
I love that. I love that. This is going to go here. No, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not. I just don't want to stick it on something color. I use the Lyco. This is like little dragonflies are little bugs. I don't know. It's really cute. But I use the light one because you can see here we're going to be adding a little bit of color. We're going to be adding a little bit of color on it. So we're going to adhere, and I'm going to be a little more careful on this one. And I'm going to get plenty of adhesive around the edges. And then I'm going to kind of go in between two. Whoops. And then I'm going to run. Oh, I got it really sticky. I'm going to run one right down the middle because I want it good and adhered. I don't want any edges to be peeling up. And then I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I have to do that twice for this card, unfortunately. All right, so you're going to need the circle that has the lily pads and the little cattails. And you're going to place that on your card. And I'm going off to the right. Now you'll notice on this one, I'm a little on the high side. And I thought, oh, I'd rather have that be centered a little bit more. So I'm going to bring that down just a little bit. Plus, maybe that will help with my frog. I actually might go over just a little because I think that might help my frog poke out a little bit. So I'm going to bring
I'm glad you're using this one because I was a little intimidated by it at first.
Okay, so I'm going to put that on my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I've kind of centered it a little bit, and I brought this one over just a little bit more, and then I'm going to run it through just like that. I'm going to lay it right on both. It's a little bit harder to get through because I'm laying it. I got to stand up for this. Goodness. Hold on.
It's well, it would be super tight, right? It would be very tight. You're not only going through.
Well, yes, stuff. It is. But now I'm like, do I have something weird under there? Shouldn't be that tight. Hold on. Do I have extra plate? No, I don't know why it's doing it. Yeah, it's a little tight because you've got an extra piece of designer series paper in there. So you're going to have to muscle it just a little bit. But I think I have a new plate here too that I'm working with. So, all right. Let's put that out of the way.
We were talking about this die cutting here. So I had I'm putting my office together since the move, and I have the little boho machine. Do you remember the little boho machine? I think you can still get it online.
Yeah.
The little boho machine. Rick asked me if it was a toy. He's
really?
like, is that like a little toy? And I'm like, no, it's a machine.
It's a tool.
It's a tool. It's not a toy.
Okay, so you're going to have to work and wiggle a little bit. It's cut, but because these are so thin, if I just wiggle, see, it comes out perfectly fine. And that's why I said you want to have a little bit of extra glue. And then this piece here comes out, okay? So this is just trash, or we can use it for something else. Now we're going to bring in some blends, and I'm going to do a little bit of coloring. And I think I'm going to just take my, I think I'm going to do light just because. And I'm going to take my blends, and I'm just going to color my cattail stems. I'm going to do the same over here. You can do as much or as little as you want. I'm going to go ahead and color in this.
That's a great idea.
Now, if you didn't get enough glue there, these are probably going to pop up a little bit, but seem to be okay right now. Now, you could go, if you wanted to, on this one, I used dark, and I did like some of these outside. I think I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to go lighter is better on these. And then I'm going to take my dark crumb cake. And my dark crumb cake is going to be what I'm going to do these cattails with. So if you notice, we have used dark, I've used crumb cake. You used pecan pie. You used what? Did you use black?
I used bronze.
Bronze, and I used dark mossy meadow. So these, and I think they would be great in like a crushed curry. I think they would be super, super pretty. So
that is a nice idea. Oh, I like that idea.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're going to see the big reveal. Where is my frog? It'll be a surprise to me too. So I'm going to I'm going to give this plenty of tape here, and it's going to go from exact side to side, but you're going to have a little border top and bottom. And I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to use my bone folder and burnish it just to get a good seal. Okay, so now will my frog be in the window?
Oh,
Look
look how
how
cute he is.
He's popping out there, so cute.
He is
Okay,
super
so
cute.
because you got some extra layers, it's going to take a little bone folder, a little creasing to get that to lay flat again. So we're going to bring in our little scrap piece of paper, and we're going to stamp with, do I have, yes, I hear, Granny Apple Green, and we're going to stamp our little frog. That's not my little frog, that's my little frog's inside. Okay, we're going to stamp our little frog, and we're going to stamp our little frog's color. Okay, and then while we have that, we are going to add my little strip of designer strip paper that doesn't want to come up. This one's a little wider, so I can go ahead and use my seal. This is the inside.
It's a great use for all that little paper because you always have extra paper left over.
Yeah, you can put it top, bottom. I'm just putting it, I just feel like the bottom's easiest. So then I like these two-step stamps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really digging them because it just adds the color, right? Okay,
Yeah, because
so
you can make them be whatever you want them to be.
the last piece of stamping we have to do, and I have to find my little strip of paper. I've lost it. Oh, here it is the greeting. You make me happy. I'll grab that right here. I'm going to stamp a little bit over to the left. And I'm just realizing, and I'm just going to tell this because I didn't plan for this. So I just realized something that I did. But I'll show you it. But I'm not sure that I included a little bit of pretty in pink in your packet. And you're going to say, what are you talking about, M.E? All right, so I'll show you. Let me bring in my mini, my little
Show
boho
us,
mini.
please.
Yeah, I got my die. And I'm going to bring in a little piece of, I'm going to see if I can cut both of these at the same time. And you're going to be like, why are you doing that? I'm going to show you why, if this works. I may have to do it separate. I have tape somewhere but to hold these down, but I'm going to hope I can get this to go through.
That's the toy machine that Rick said. Rick's like, is that a toy?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's not a toy.
It's a tool. It's a tool. Okay. I love that. I love that one. Oh, look at that. Cute. Okay, so there is Mr. Frog. I'm going to set that aside. And I have a piece under here that is pretty in pink. Okay. And the reason is because when I put my greeting, which I've already lost, I feel like I'm like, oh, where is everything?
Welcome to my world.
I only want tape on the left side. So I'm going to bring my little, you could tuck it in here. It'll cover some of the words. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it, I'm going to go ahead on this one. Since I moved this one over, I'm going to go all the way to the edge. I'll show you the other one here in a second. And then this guy here, and he's going to sit right here. So because he's sitting, now see what I'm doing here? Can you see it? It's a little blurry on my end.
Yeah, there he is.
Because he's sitting precariously, and I'm going to open it up, he's going to be sitting with not much place to adhere him. If I take the pink and make a little sandwich, that secures him in there. Does that make sense? So
yes,
that's going to make this like, so all I have to do really is take this. I hope I'm doing this on the right side. Lay that down. Hopefully I'm in the right. place. And I'm going to
Yep.
make a little sandwich. Let me just make sure. I'm going to make a little Sammy,
Mm-hmm.
or frog, and my greeting. So we open it. It's a little cleaner, but oops, I got glue on my glass mat. So see, it just helps it stay
Just
secure. And then open.
solidifies him a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little more solid, because really you would only have this really tiny, and then he'd be a little floppy in there. And now
Mm-hmm.
he's sandwiched in and more secure. So that's the front of my card, other than I'm going to add a few little dappled dots with my take your pick tool. And this is when I say I usually break off the whole end came out. I usually break off the end, or the little bit. And I'm going to add the pebble path color, because we've got that kind of, that crumb cake is mimicking that. Whoops. And then one of the bigger ones right down here, just like
Cute.
that. So super
Cute, cute,
cute.
cute.
That's easy, right? It's super easy. And then we just need to add our inside. So we're going to open that up, and then we're just going to add our inside with a little bit of tape. We're going to mimic the same little frog on our envelope. I'm not going to do that for you, but you're just going to mimic that same little frog right on the inside of on the outside of your envelope. So there's the difference. I've used a little darker old olive here, and I used a little granny apple green. So use what you have, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
decide, do I want my little frog peeking out, or do I want him to be a cute little surprise when you open the card, which is the way this one is right here. So
Yeah.
he's a cute little surprise. But this one,
There's
he's,
so many greens in this paper that you
yeah,
don't
right.
like, if whether you do the granny, whether you do the old olive, whether you do
Yes.
the peacock, whether you do, there's so many different shades in there that you can kind of mix and match.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I would like to share with everyone. I'm super excited about our next month, which will be the August
August,
Stamping
yes.
Way, August Stamp It Your Way,
Mhm.
which is crazy. It's almost August now. So let me bring in, this is something a little different. We have not done an online exclusive before, and we are hoping that
Mhm.
you will enjoy it, and we will be able to get everything for you. So here's the basic bundle. You've got your Frosted Forest stamp set, and you've got your dies, and you've got everything from evergreens to deciduous trees, and a couple little birds. Super, super cute. But these greetings, oh my goodness. I mean, mixed
Mm.
fonts, beautiful, beautiful fonts and greetings. Birthday, thank you, thinking of you. And then just a really nice saying right
Mhm.
there. But look at this. Look at this. We're going to teach
I am
some math.
so excited about this. I'm so excited.
Nice thing about these masks is they build on each other. So here you've got your tree, and then here you've got some evergreens, and we've got they're just building. Each one builds, and we're going to teach you how to use those in the cards. And we've got some fancy folds. We've got some all occasion cards, everything from we're starting on our Christmas to our fall, and beautiful folds. So I really hope that you will sign up for the August Stamp It Your Way using the Frosted Forest bundle. And we will have that ready to go on August the 1st. So watch for that on our Facebook pages, either Be Creative Stamping or Create With Me on
Yep.
Facebook. So we will have those for you. We'll have
And
links in the video description here on YouTube, so you can snag
and
it there.
definitely want to sign up sooner rather than later. Online exclusives are is something we're trying, but online exclusives can be a little,
Scary.
scary. I'm trying to think of a good
Scary.
word, but that's the best word for it. They're a little scary.
Yeah.
In the fact that we can't always guarantee availability, because they sell out. Once they sell out, they can be gone forever. So The online exclusives are truly on, they're exclusives, and we cannot guarantee availability. So if this is something you're interested in, don't wait. To make sure you contact us and sign up so that we can, or order the bundle if you're going to order it,
Yeah,
or have us order it
that's
for
my
you.
order the bundle right away.
Yes.
We'll grab those if you need them from us, or if you already own them, then that's perfect. But if you need this bundle, the sooner the better. We will not be able to guarantee it, but all signups are through the 10th, so
Yeah.
hopefully we will not have a problem. So, all right.
We are back.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys will enjoy the Frosted Forest as much as we've enjoyed designing cards for you. It's just a fabulous bundle. We've never done anything with masking, so we're looking forward to teaching a little masking. So grab your blending brushes and be ready to learn along with us. And our videos post the fourth Wednesday of the month. Fourth Wednesday of the month. So you can see them up on YouTube the fourth Wednesday of the month. If you have questions about that, just reach out to us and we'll be happy to show you. But if you're watching this one, that's going to be in the same place. So subscribe to our channel and you'll get a notification when we go live up there on YouTube at the end of the month. So.
And we're watching comments, and we're participating in this video as much as you are. So please talk to us and let us know what you love and what you'd like to see. If there's something you'd like to see in us use, let us know, and we'll see what we can do about incorporating that in and showing something new. So yeah.
Absolutely. So it's been our pleasure. It's been our pleasure to be here with you tonight, and we appreciate you watching. And I don't know anything else. I think that's good.
Just have a very ducky day.
Oh, that's cute. Ducky day. Aren't you so clever?
Have a very ducky day, everybody.
Bye, everybody.